Ish. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Am I alive? Am I alive now? Let me see. 1 second. I need to. I'm gonna watch my own stream. I want to see if everything's all good. Welcome. If anyone can hear me, welcome. Alright, hold on. Let me go to my own video and see how. See how. Alright. Seems like everything's all good, but yeah. Hello everybody, hello. But yeah, welcome, Noor, welcome. Finn, welcome. Yeah, so today we'll be talking about. It is in the title. We'll be talking about all the new stuff that's coming in Ian. From the Hydra. I'm not sure how to pronounce if her name immediately, but yeah, Hyrja Hel, Watermelon Kaiser, and we'll also be talking about Ren, which I believe is one of the newer unit for Ian as well. So let me double check. Because I don't think I've talked about her yet. So yeah, we'll also be talking about Ren. This is what we're gonna do for today. And again, if you're watching this later, for the recordings, or if you're watching this later, yeah, just for the recording, or if you're rewinding the video, just know everything that we talk about will be timestamped in the comments and in the description. So yeah, and if you have any questions, just ask me right away, and I can try to answer them as I talk about them. So yeah, and and before we get into the guide and the explanation, some news actually. Yeah, let me talk about some news. Hold on. Someone say, hold on. Stream audio bitrate is 0. Let me double check my stream real quick. If there's anything wrong with the stream, definitely tell me on the chat so I can. Okay, it seems like it's fine. But night viewer, welcome. Alright. Okay, so first of all, some news. Yeah, some news for the for the game. Okay, so this is not really news for Ian, but for NC, but this is also means this might come to Ian very soon. So for NC, new what's it called? We got the Graziomer, or the Hades Project Graziomer rerun, and we're gonna have, and all the units will have a new retrofit, I believe, and maybe not for the plane, as far as I know, or maybe there is, but yeah. There will be a new retrofit for every single mecha ones. So definitely, so if you're looking forward to that, definitely stay tuned for my video on it. But yeah, definitely stay tuned on this, and I think there should be, I think there's some more. Let me see. Is there more news? Oh, hold on. So for Ian, right? For Ian, there's the new mooncake event. So definitely come by to do the mooncake event. How you participated, you just go on this Twitter and you just screenshot at the right time, and then you post your screenshot over here and you might be able to get rewards. So yeah, definitely check this out as well. But I think that's about it for the news. Probably gonna, yeah, hold on, let me see, is there anything? Alright, actually, yeah, let me live stream. Hold on. Pause video of the stream update. Okay. My bad, 1 second. Let me stream update. Live on YouTube. Alright, awesome. Alright, yeah, that's about it. Welcome up there. Anyway, welcome everybody, welcome. Alright, now let's start with the guide. So someone actually asked me. So since someone asked me about Hel, I'm gonna just start with Hel for today. So someone asked me, or Finn asked me, the skill 2 of the Black Knight, or needs. I still cannot pronounce his name. But yeah, of the Black Knight, the reduced counter attack work on Hel. It does work on Hel. Yeah, it does work on Hel because again, Hel or Hyrja. Actually, I'm gonna say Hyrja for the rest of the video. Yeah, it does work on Hyrja, because he does have one counter, but it is a grab, but it is counter grab. One other thing about this one is, or one of the reasons why you don't want to use him on Hyrja is because this counter is not a force grab. That means if you use it in PvP and in PvE, if you use this skill more often, although it is powerful, but if the enemy have anti-knockdowns, for example, if they have treasure stabilizers, or if they have the co-pilot skill that entices knockdown, or if you're fighting against any PvE bosses, it will just be like when you try to do this on the enemies, it will just stealth knockdown. So this is the reason why you don't want to use the Black Knight on it, because it will increase the rate of Hyrja using this skill. So that's why this is the main reason why I never recommended Black Knight on Hel on my Hyrja guide as well. So I do have a Hyrja guide, so if you're interested, it's right here. So if you're interested in an in-depth Hyrja guide, this is that you can check it out over here. But I go in depth on how to on how the unit is and how to build it. So you have to check this out if you want to know. But today, I'm gonna I'm not gonna go over everything again, but I'm gonna talk about like the what makes Hyrja good and just the overall the explanation of it. So this is the reason why Black Knight shouldn't be using on it. 正在吃饭好。I see, nice. I hope you have a great dinner. Yeah, 谢谢你能够来呀。Thank you so much for coming. If anyone doesn't know, he was eating dinner, so. And yeah. Yeah, welcome. Alright, so for Hyrja, yeah, again, I'm not gonna go over everything that has for the unit, but I'm gonna go over what makes him really strong. And plus, honestly, the only important part is the important part for Hyrja. So, so one of his most important part is the chassis. Both soul sucking and death detonation are almost designed exclusively to anti the ad meta, and the reason being because every time there's enemy clones or enemy unit dies, it will trigger its chassis, either buffing Hyrja's attack for almost forever and also recovering some HP. So that means for the first chassis, as long there's enemies constantly dying, which Adkin supplies a lot of enemies dying, Hyrja will just get stronger and stronger with his attack buff. I mean, there is a like a limiter for it, but the amount of attack that you can gain from this is infinite technically. So because it says upon death of an enemy, Hyrja's attack plus 50% for 5 seconds and recovering some HP, and after 5 seconds, 50% of the attack bonus will be left. It's kind of a weird way of saying it, but this just means that after 5 seconds, so after the buff for 5 seconds, the 50% of the attack, 25% of them will remain on ad forever, basically. So hold on, let me cover real quick. So that means Hyrja's attack will go on for an insane amount, as long there's enemy kept on dying. It can only be activated, or the stacking ability can be only activated every 5 seconds. So there is a kind of limiter for that, but it is in a prolonged battle, this can add up to some really high or some really insane damage. So hello Vistra, hello. Is there a list of Awakening pilot's abilities somewhere? Not at the moment. There is one in our Discord, but you do need to dig deep to find it. So if you go on our Discord and you go into here. And Nyx does provide every translation for the every translation for the pilots, but again, you need to dig deep. So my suggestion is you search here, like you search in this you search it in this channel, and you kind of like and you try to, I guess, honestly, yeah, even I couldn't find it, but the best way to do that is honestly just, yeah. So for example, you say from Nyx, and you say you want to know Becca's Awaken, and you go Becca's Awaken skill, because Nyx provide good translation for the upcoming unit. It's not a, it is I'm just gonna Becca's Awake. Never mind. Becca's Awake. Okay, well, theoretically, theoretically you can find it, but what you can also do is just ask in the Discord, and you're able to find it, or you can just tag me, and I can provide you with the translation. So, and also every video that I did on it. So, again, if you go into my Pilot Awaken, every video that I do on it will have the English translation. So, the way Hyrja tries to explain the game is it's extremely confusing, very confusing, and there's also something that's up. So again, as I talked about before, the 50% attack is just after 5 seconds, 50% of the attack bonus will be left. This just means 25% of the buff. So see, for your first buff, the 50% buff for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, that means you'll be left with a 25% attack bonus forever, and every 5 seconds it will just keep on stacking up. So you'll gain another 25%. Well, I'm not sure if it's like percentage wise or if it's like additive wise, but either way, it is some huge attack bonus. The more the enemies die. So it is a bit confusing, but it's kind of also easy to understand. Just know that every time the enemies dies, the attack buff will be stacked forever, but the stack can only happen every 5 seconds, so it's not too overpowered, right? But yeah. So by the time by the end of the battle, you can easily see Hela doing like double the damage, for instance, or 50% more light attack forever, right? So, and the recovery HP is also very, very strong. If your opponent are supplying with with infinite supply of ads clones, you can technically keep Hela alive forever by just constantly recovering back to full health every time every time there's a cycle of clones. Given that the Hela doesn't die, doesn't die in one shot already. So, but yeah, Soul Sucking, very anti-ad, and also very strong in killing the mobs in PvE stages. So if you're using this in the very long stages in PvE, right? It will also be very useful because by the end of it, or near the middle, or by the end of it, it'll also be doing, or your hero will also be doing insane amount of damage near the end of it, in especially long PvE battles. So yeah, very confusing chassis, but it's pretty easy to understand if they just explain them better. So, and the second one is pretty similar. It just, upon enemy's death, inflict one-time damage upon all enemies on the field. Again, this is also a bit like confusing, because inflict one-time damage, it feels like you just do one damage, right? But it does not. It actually does multiple type or I think it does 2 types of damage. It does both the normal damage and also does acid damage. So it actually applies debuff effects. It does from what I understand, normal type damage, acid damage, and you also get knockdown or either knockdown or CC effect. So there's a bunch of effect in this one-time damage. It's kind of it's very confusing. And this is another reason why this skill is much stronger than how it is shown. You know, you might think, oh, one-time damage, it just, you know, everyone get hits once. But no, it's a bunch of that. This is the reason why the whole team dies upon, you know, upon a clone destruction. If you see, after one cycle of add clone, there's a high chance that all of your opponent's unit will be half health, because this one-time damage deals at least 7% of the 7% of the enemy's HP per tick. So yeah, very strong. And again, it says one-time damage. It doesn't just do it once. It does one time every time the enemy dies. So let's say, see. So this one damage does 7% damage plus some CC effects. And I think Ad does about 6 clones or 7 clones. 6 times 7, that's some insane damage. So my bad. So that's that's like 42% of damage minimum per ad cycle. So that detonation, very strong unit, especially against ad and especially against PvE stages, because again, PvE have a lot of mobs that can kill. It can also be detrimental for the enemy's team in PvE. So, but is not really good against, you know, PvE bosses. That doesn't, you know, where there isn't much unit dying. However, Hela is also very strong against PvE bosses. Probably one of the strongest glass cannon in PvE bosses, thanks to the weapon thanks to the mega weapon Mudgood. Or I think Modgood. I go in depth on the Hela guide, but I guess I can say again. Mudgood is a mega weapon that kind of spins around the enemy for a while. It does some insane damage, especially if you're using it in numbers. Yeah, this one again, even just here you can see it lasts for a long time and does really good damage. The closer you are to, the closer enemy are to the skull, the more damage that it would do. For the target, it won't be targeting, you know, within the skull, but if there's enemy nearby it, or if the enemy is moving, that means there's a high chance that they'll be closer to the skull, and stuff. So, also, of course, it'll be applying acid damage to the opponents, reducing their healing abilities. So that's also very good. Yeah, Mudguard is a very strong, very powerful unit. Probably one of the safest unit for Hela as well. And one of the reasons why Hela is so good in PvE against PvE bosses is because by combining this with Lila. Because again, this is a mega weapon. It doesn't say. See, this is another thing that is very confusing. So it says it's a mega weapon, but it does not say it is it is also a single shot weapon, and it is also a missile weapon, or missile type weapon. So it can do some if your Lila is able to proc the if your Lila is able to proc the 25% or the 28% on the single shot weapon, the single shot weapon times of attack. If you're able to do that, actually, hold on, I'm gonna put this on instead because I don't have an AS spin, and I'm also gonna put on single shot. Where's single shot? Yeah, you gotta put on single shot. I'm just gonna go in. If Hela is able to proc the 28%, let's see if I can do it. It will do some insane damage to, honestly, probably one of the strongest attack for most for recent units as well. I don't know why it's not using it. It is a problem. So hold on. Let's there you go. He's using it, but sadly it didn't proc it. But again, if it is able to proc the if it is able to proc the 28% on the Mudgut, there you go. See, not proc it. It immediately does like 48,000 damage. You can imagine how much damage it will do on on the enemy's bosses. So if RNG is on your side, and if Hela is able to use more of Mudrock, it can be your top DPS in both early game and in late game. And this is usable even if you don't have a dupe. Even you know, even at 4-star without a weapon upgrade, you can do some insane damage. And there you go. Again, huge damage. So yeah. And the build on it, I also go into that in details. The build on it, you will want to use charge blade because you know, every time it uses actions, it can recharge the bullet for the Mudgut. So alright, let me go back to the EN one. So Mudgut, and also another thing is this can also be buffed by missile parts, so you can, or missile part and skills. So if you're if you're creative, you can create some pretty janky build where missile part and drone parts will work on it. So because this thing does proc Windy, you know, the Windy pet that can buff ammo resupply when Mudgut came back, because Mudgut does came back to the unit and does regenerate some of the magazine as well. So yeah, an extremely fun unit and extremely powerful unit for Hela to use. It combined very well with Charge Blade. If you want to use Mudgut as much as possible. If you're using with Lila, you know, it's basically a RNG machine. Yeah. And if you're crazy enough, you can even use Mudgut Lila in PvP. But again, one of the biggest weaknesses Hela has is it doesn't really have any defense abilities. So, and I'm gonna get into that with abilities because, again, holy crap, it does not have anything that it can protect himself aside from invincibility. So both of its X alt and counter, I believe, is invincible. So it is a plus on Hela's side that you have 3 invincible abilities. However, it is not enough. Most of his weapon or most of his action are pretty high speed, so that means it doesn't provide Hela as much invincibility compared to some other recent units. And all of the attack are pretty basic as well, so it's not the best for surviving. Evasive, counter evasive, slide, and block. These will not be the best. These will not be the best defensive move into this meta where everything just either ignores it or just blasts you and kills you in one shot. Again, it does not have much on its defensive ability, and even if it's only quote-unquote good counter abilities, again, this counter ability is powerful if you can land it, but because it is not a force grab, it's a counter and not a force grab. That means it is killing Hela herself if you use it on units that does have just a stabilizer, which is a lot, and in PvE if the boss is able to hit it and if the Hela is trying to grab it. So even its counter is detrimental to herself. So this, and yeah, I'm really trying to say it just there's nothing going on for her for defensibility, and in fact, some of the actions are a bit self-destructive in a way. So this is why building this unit, the pilot choice on this unit and the part choice on this unit is very important, because you want to build her fully on defensive, on being defensive, so he doesn't die in one hit. And if you're not using a defensive pilot, God forbid, you might just get one shot at it. So but yeah. Alright, I think this covers most of what it does. If you want to know anything about it, just tell me in the chat and I'll try to explain it. So, oh, and I guess some fun fact, which some fun fact that I can do is, they have 2 of the same sword melee, so it can be buffed by the new double sword part. These 2 special melee isn't actually the same weapon because it cannot be dual wielded, and they actually, I believe they're actually counted as a different weapon. So, but it's good that they're separated so they can be buffed more by by Majin Core. So, but yeah, overall, purely anti-ad unit, and because of what it can do, it can do insane damage in PvE for both mob clearing and for PvE against bosses with Lila. So yeah, honestly very useful unit if you can make it survive. So I do highly suggest you get it, or if you get it, you won't regret it. Yeah, and just know that at the end, Hela is not the one to end at meta. It is a new part that ended at meta, and the reason why is because by the time Awaken unit came out, and by the time that more stronger units came out, it makes Hela harder and harder to survive. So yeah. Alright, let's get into some build. I'm gonna actually kind of go into Hydra on this as well. Right this. So, if you're going for a PvE build, right? If you're going for a PvE build against bosses, or against PvE bosses, this is why I do suggest. I actually suggest using this as well. Yeah. So, Super Core, Charge Blade, the single shot support. You probably most likely need Firm Steel. What's it called? You can also have Lucky Coat for the extra boots on the percentage. Oh, you don't want to use this for the PvE build. You can put on this one for even more. For even more final defense buff. If you don't have it, you can even put on the pendant. So this is what I suggest. If you can survive, you can put on an Enjoyer by Vesely for even more damage. If you're fighting against the Trial of Origin bosses, or if you're fighting against the bosses that will do serious damage to you, you can go to defense and put on 4-type absorption. So you can put on 4-type absorption for more sustainabilities and stuff. And this core might be better if you're using a Cynthia team. However, you can use it without Cynthia, but you can also replace it with Merging Core if you wish. So, you can also replace it with this one. Yeah, but the thing is, you'll want to buff its final damage, or you'll want to buff its the Mega Weapon attack instead. So this is why I suggest you using Super Core or Merging Core instead. I personally prefer Super Core. Personally, but it's up to you on what you want to choose. For PvE, Charge Blade is always what you want to do, because Charge Blade is the only weapon that can constantly give you more ammo added onto the mud good. So if you're using other ones, I mean, you can use ones such as high tech, the high tech bullet, or some other bullet, but I highly suggest using Charge Blade instead, just for guarantee ammo increase. So, and for this one, you mostly want to get the single shot, because we both added single shot reload and single shot ammo, which is pretty great for the 28% RNG spend. So you probably need it. I see people using different shell depending on the enemy. So yeah, it really depends on the enemy. For all enemies, Firm Steel will probably be the best choice overall. But if you're using some other, you're fighting some other enemies that you can switch on, anti-CC armor. You can switch on some different armor, up to you. So, the coating, the same thing. You can go for a more defensive one. You can go for you can go for the aggro, but personally prefer Lucky Coat, just so you can get more chances. Pet as well. Pet, I just go for offensive wise, final damage increase, or just action increase for more for more of your charge rate ammo add. So I've seen people also use Steel. I do not recommend it because you will die most likely, because Steel also increases their like aggro. So I don't suggest using this. Just stick to Belial, or I think this is Berlin, right? Yeah, Berlin, or Citrus Pendant. So This is what I suggest. And if you're on another server, you can also put on, you know, this dock as well. But yeah, this is the general build for PvE against bosses. And now I'm gonna go into the build for PvP. So let's go to PvP, and of course, Hyrja just came out on Ian, so this is perfect time for me to showcase it. This is what I suggest. So here it is. So if you're going for PvP, this is what I suggest. And then a rewind. So this is your overall build for the PvP. The idea is to make her stay alive as much as possible, right? For example, emergency detach, just free iframe. You know, free iframe. Hela is still on the field, the chest is still active, so you know, why not, right? Why not? Just keep, you know, just more time on the field, the better. The longer that you can survive, the better. So this is why I use this one instead of chest stabilize. And one of the reasons why I use this one is also because, you know, Hela have a self knockdown ability with his, you know, with his counter. So this is another reason why I go for emergency detachment, just for more iframe, for you to, you know, detach. And I use this one for even more, for more action span. Just, and main reason for that is because, again, some of his skills or some of her skills are iframes or are invincible. So if I can make her spam those skills, then it also kind of increases the chances of her surviving. You can also go for this one for even more iframe spam potential, but I want to go for this one just so she can he also do a you know, that bit more damage, right? This also has the downside of, you know, increasing her increasing Hela's counter abilities, you know, like increase the counter action, but just know that her counter is also, I think, is either untargetable or invincible. So I think it is also a good one to do that. And plus, you're gonna be knocked out anyway, so I'm just like, you know what, why not? So yeah. So this is what I will go for. And because I'm using Hydra on it, I will not use you know, the big heal, or the, you know, the big heal on it. Once this core happened on Ian, so let me actually grab a core real quick. So once, actually, I'm just gonna show this to you guys. Once this core happens on Ian, so you know, once this core are in Ian, you can use this core as well, because this core increases the healing ability as well. So once this core are dropping Ian, you can also use one of the one. But so far, this is what I would suggest, you know, with the transition. Zeno, hello, and welcome, Jack, welcome. The Slowkai ability useful in Lex. You mean Slowkai's Awaken abilities or normal Slowkai abilities? Should I pull Harvest Gear or heal? This is a tough choice. So, if you want to anti-act and PvE, then pull for Hela. If you just want to do good in PvE, if you just want to do good in PvE and in PvP, you can go for, just go for Hars. Yeah, Hars. And the thing is, both units are pretty cheap. Both unit, or Hela is good at 6 star, or at 6 star. Har's figure is good at 7 star. So it's really a tough choice. It's a really tough choice. It really depends on, do you want to anti-add or not? Do you want to punish ad user or not? If you don't want to punish ad users, then I think you can go for Har's figure. If you want to punish ad users, then go for Hela. So this is what I would suggest. So, and again, Jack, are you talking about Slowkai's Awaken abilities or Slowkai's are you talking about the Awaken abilities or the normal abilities? If you're talking about the Awaken abilities, then yes, Awaken abilities works well. It doesn't work well on on Lex. It's really good. It works on, or yeah, if it works on most units. How do you say? Yeah, Slowkai's Awaken abilities are pretty universal. It's just good overall against PvE. Especially the last skill. If you just let her be a tank, or just be a tank on Lex, because Lex's job is not to be a DPS. Lex's job is to lock down the enemies, and by doing that, and you can just slap Slowkai on it, and you can and that is a free. Hold on, where's my PvE team? Yeah, there you go. And it is a free 21%. Yeah, it is a free 21% of final damage decrease for for the enemy team. So this is a reason why I use Slowkai on it. Because and the reason is because that Grace is well, not Grace. Juris is not a DPS unit, so you don't need to put a DPS pilot on it. But people does use Slowkai on Infinity, or some on some range unit where her skill will be more beneficial. But overall, honestly, yeah, I don't think her skill is good on Lex, but people put her on Lex because she's just there for the damage increase. She is still better on a range unit, but on range unit you'll want to put Ryoma on. Oh yeah, for example, if you want to use Infinity, you'll want to put Ryoma on. If you don't have Ryoma, you can put on Ashima. If you don't have Ashima, you can put on what's that girl from? Yeah, if you don't have Ashima, you can put it on where is it? Kamina, I think. Where is she? She is the one that increases 28% attack. So yeah, and you can put on her as well. There are just too many range unit options where you might as well put Slowkai on a melee, or you might as well put Slowkai Awaken on Lex instead of anyone else. Yeah, so Hyrja or Himiko. I like Ranger, but I like Ranger, but melee feels current meta. Okay, so oh wait, hold on. Let me answer. Yeah, what is the best tanky unit so far in Yen and Pilots and Co? Hold on. Yeah, let me answer the tanky mecha real quick. Tanky mecha goes to I think still at by a long shot. I mean, if your opponents are not using Hela, right, then it's at for sure. But if your opponent is not using or is using Hel, is probably gonna be Changsheng. Yeah, it might be Changsheng. Yeah, it might be Changsheng. Or no, not Changsheng. It might be it might be either Nightmare. Yeah, Nightmare MK3. Nightmare MK3, or Nightmare MK3, Changsheng, or what's it called? Oh no. Yeah, Nightmare MK3, Changsheng, Shingetter Saga. Yeah, Shingetter Saga, and Tekken Evil. Yeah, those four are tanky as heck. Nightmare MK3 probably the tankiest. Yeah, Nightmare MK3 is probably the tankiest, or the best tanky mecha. Or I mean, yeah, the best tanky mecha, or the best invincible mecha. If you want to go for tankiness, it's probably gonna be because Nightmare is not tanky because its frame is tanky. It's because you have a lot of defense abilities and and invincibility to throw people off. So if you want to go for like tankiness, taking hits, for sure it's gonna be Tekken Evil. Yeah, Tekken Evil can anti anything. Yeah, anti everything, anti knockdown, anti anything and everything that I can think of. Just a rock over there for you to take hits. So yeah, Tekken Evil I believe is the best one right now. Changsheng is more of a chance where you can just block everything. So I don't know if it's kind of tanky. I mean, it is tanking, but I don't think it is like taking HP hits. So this is more of a taking chances. And Shingetter is just iframe. Yeah, iframe. So energy. Yeah, all four units, all four of the most tanky units are tanking in a different way. So I guess For the pilots, for sure it's gonna be Hyrja. Yeah, the new unit that we got. So hold on, let me go to the bundles. Yeah, for sure, Hyrja. Hyrja. Yeah, Hyrja for sure. Moray for sure. These are the most tanky units out right now. It's probably the one that you only want to use, and Black Knight. So yeah, these are the most tanky units in EN at the moment. Also Qin, yeah, Qin as well. Qin plus Lioma from Qin Getter. Those are some of the most tanky units on EN. If you want to say the best, for sure, Hydra, and second being Moray. This is why I think. Alright, so now answering Finn's question, Heartspeaker or Himiko? I like Ranger, but melee feels in the current meta. Yes, melee is a current meta, and the thing is, if you want to go for meta, pure meta, or future meta, Himiko will be the best. Himiko will be pretty good in both PvP and PvE, especially when Linda Awaken comes out. Once Linda Awaken comes out, and you pair it with, you pair Himiko with Linda Awaken, then it will do some insane damage. Harvey's gear, I don't know if you do as much damage if you don't have, some of the specific units. So I suggest Himiko. However, I don't think this will happen often, but I don't think this will happen in EN as well. In 1v1, Himiko can be easily countered by melee only build, by Fork or something, because everything that Himiko does is melee. So if you try to, because everything it does is melee, you can just put on anything that N-types melee, and then the Himiko is dead. But the thing is, it will not really matter in a PvP setting, because you have different units. You have other units. You have Hela. You have At, where they'll do different things. Different things than just pure melee. Or you can just have another range. You can just have like Warlong on it, or any other range unit, Dankoga on it. Then you can mitigate the weaknesses for Himiko. But overall, Himiko is the best. Probably the second coming of At is not as annoying as At, but is close to it. It's powerful, defensive, anti-CCs, and just everything. Everything you can ask for a unit is there. Is there for Hela. So Hyrja is a bit unconventional with how you build it, because you want to build it for the bursts instead of melee build. And from my experience, my Heartspeaker does die sometimes in the meta, so Himiko for sure. Himiko all the way, I think. Yeah. Alright, so let's go back to I probably should have finished Hela. So let's go to Hela. This is what I would suggest. However, if you want to go for even more survivability, I will go for absorption skill. The reason why I even use charge skill for this one is because I believe if you're able to use mud good in a PvP setting, that would be pretty well as well. That would be pretty well. So if you're using charge blade plus I am using transition core, you can reload as much the mud good as possible, and you can just use mud good and be good at it. And you can even use this build with Lila if you want, but use at your own discretion, because Lila's gonna die pretty fast, even with this build. So I highly suggest not using Lila unless you are lucky. Unless you think you're lucky and you nuke the opponents right away with the 28%, then maybe you can try it. But I don't want you to waste your resources on buying hits on trying to RNG out. So Hydra all the way if you have Hydra. If you don't have Hydra, go with Moray. If you don't have Moray, go with what is the next strongest unit that you have. Only thing I don't suggest is Knight. or is yeah, that's a Black Knight because you know you want to preferably not use counter on Hela. So and and one thing that you might notice for this build is that it doesn't have any anti-CC. It doesn't have, you know, anti-chassis. It doesn't have anti-CCs, you know, anti the electricity, anti-fire. Yeah, it doesn't have that because again, what I want Hela to do is to stay on the field. Being knocked down doesn't mean you're gonna die, right? Being knocked down just means you're not gonna be doing something. You're not gonna be doing DPSs. But if being knocked down is better than, you know, dying, right? So this is why I prefer, you know, emergency detachment, because you guarantee you won't die in that 1 second, or for that, you know, for how many seconds they are. You guarantee you won't die for that amount of time. That is a guarantee, but with the chest stabilizer, it's not a guarantee. You get hit, you don't get knocked down. You're gonna be continuing getting hit just like you're getting knocked down as well. So it's kind of like, yeah, guarantee iframe and no iframe versus. So this is the reason why I don't put anti-knockout on it, because there's no point in my opinion. You don't want my Hydra. I already gave up on Hydra doing damage. So this is the reason why. I'm gonna put this on just so it increases more survivability. And in fact, I'm gonna put on. It does decreasing some. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna put this one back on. Yeah, just so I don't confuse people. So there you go. And I put on, you know, kills your armor. It's because of 20%. You know, you want to. You know, Lila is very ridiculously weak. The 20% can block it sometimes. You know, can blast fatal attack sometimes, and of course, Crab you need it. 30% chance on blocking from all other sides except for the front. You probably need this thing on you know, on a thing as well. So yeah, this is what I suggest, and of course rewind guarantee you have another life in case you just get one-shotted. So you can go for this, however. For example, if your opponents are using Zenjuche or something that does insane elemental damage that just burns your healer to death even with this build. If this happens, then you can go for electro armor to reduce the burn damage, and you can replace this, and you can replace your pet with GM1, so you also you still get a hard shell ability, or you can just same thing, have hard shell and have there you go, and have this one, the all type coating, and yeah, all type coating for the anti, you know, for the anti dynamic damage. And let me change the pattern real quick, and you can put on Crab as well. Yeah, you can put on Crab. If you want to let your healer do damage, right? So you put on this one and you put on Lila. Then you can consider putting on, you know, GA29, or you can put on this one and put on Chest Stabilizer. But for healer, I still suggest you put on Emergency Detach just for the guarantee iframe. So this is what I suggest. And finally, you could put on, you know, the what's it called, the Diagro coating or the Diagro pet. This is also a very good choice. So this is also a very good build for PvP. So if you want to go for this one, this is also very good. I don't think you will want Hanzo over Crab or over any other defensive pet. So I do suggest you use, if you want to go for Diagro, do the one for the coating. So this is what I suggest. So, this should be it for the PvP build for overall build for Hela. So if you have any questions, just ask me in the chat, or if you watch this later, just ask me in our Discord or in the comments, or in the comments, and I'll answer them right away. So, alright, that should be it. Let's talk about hold on. let me go. Yeah, let me go to English. Yeah, Hyrja. I think Hyrja. I can't pronounce it. Yeah, Hyrja, the best, the tankiest unit. Tanky. Oh, it's not tanky in terms of it is tanky, but it's the most. Yeah, just clarify that. Most tankiest unit until Pilot Awaken. So honestly, strongest default or tankiest default pilots. Well, it's not the tankiest pilots on some certain units, but it is the savior for a lot of weaker units such as Hela. For a lot of glass cannons such as Hela, such as Zhenjuche, such as who else? Let's hold on. Let me check out. Zhenjuche. I'm trying to think of one right off the bat. Zhenjuche. Merlin to some degree. Yeah, Merlin to some degree. Zhen Qinglong, yeah, Zhen Qinglong, a good one on that. Yeah, again, Zhenjuche is also very good. It's usable, yeah, usable. And like, let's see. Honestly, you can probably even put on Percival on it, but I think Percival is tanky enough where you don't even need Hydra and stuff. But yeah, some of the weaker units put on Hydra, or honestly any unit put on Hydra. Or most unit. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. Most unit put on Hydra were pretty good. And one of the reasons being is because it's insane passive abilities that just screams defensive abilities. So, and for some of them, it might not look as strong when you first look at it, but in practice, it's kind of insane. So for example, let's talk about his first passive because its active skill is not really the best. It's the unit, it's the skill, and it's good for that. Yeah, it's good that its AS is not the best. Most strong units doesn't have the greatest active skill, mainly because usually active skill is only something that happens one time, and that one time sometimes might not happen, in the battle, or you might not even use it because RNG during battle, or you might use it in the wrong time. So if your AS is bad, this usually means is a good pilot. So you can dedicate all of your other points on the other skills. So you know what? I'm just talking about it. So generate 4 thunderstorm for 10 seconds, inflict paralytic effect on enemy within the range. Damage scale for increased level. So what's the point of doing more damage when the main effect is to do paralysis effect? When everything's the same, it doesn't. Yeah, it's like there's no point of upgrading the skill, just for damage. So this, just this. It already does its job on CCing. So what's the point on increasing attack? No point. Alright, so let's get into this strong passive. So, first one, Rulers of Chaos. Upon death of an enemy, gain 7% full absorb effect upon full absorb effect. Upon death of an ally, reduce damage received by 7% for duration of the battle. Cannot be applied to clones and some units. So this is another reason why it is so strong on units such as Hela, on units such as Zhen Qinglong, on units such as on units such as Zhenjuche, because again, upon enemy of it, again, you do have to be winning. Enemy does need to have one of their actual unit to die in order to have this effect, but having a full absorb,去抽 Hydra 还是海拉好？海拉 I suggest 海拉好一点呀，海拉好一点 cause yeah, 1 second. Someone's asking if to put Hydra or Hela is better. I'm gonna answer him real quick. So yeah, 除了海拉更好点，海拉可以防亚特，可以在 PVP 里面都很好呀，2星在 PVP 里面就已经很好了。So 海拉性价比更好呀，海拉性价比更好，海拉6星就可以 PVP， 海拉4星2星到5星就可以 PVE 这样子， so 海拉性价比更好。So someone's asking the same question, is Hela's better? Again, Hela is a very useful unit. He also asking that if getting her is good. Getting Hydra is also good, but thing is, it's not a necessity. So, 抽这个没有说是就虽然这个机制很好，但是不是一个必要的这样子的，因为很多别的机制也一样好的。So this is the reason why Full Absorb is getting is so good on elemental units, because a lot of time elemental units cannot use Full Absorb, making them a little bit slightly less tankier or slightly less self-sustainable because of the not able to use the absorption shield. But with this skill, you can do some insane damage while gaining instead of amount of HP back. So I mean, again, it does require your enemy to die or one of your enemy to die, but if it does happen, there's a high chance that your Hydra will live to the end if you're using a unit that, I mean, honestly, it doesn't even have to be a unit that using elemental. I mean, using elemental, it just give them the option to survive all the way to the end, or just annoying your unit to just survive all the way to the end with the with the self sustainability, or you can just have a normal type unit that already have absorption skill to get even more that absorption skill to just get more HP. So very annoying unit, or very annoying skill for the enemies, because at the moment your enemy sees one of the unit dies and they see you have Hydra, then they know, oh no, now their Hydra is gonna have even more force. This is especially insane on Hydra, on Hela. If you put Hydra on Hela, that means every time you use the Mud God, every time Hela do something that is high damage, then the Hela is gonna go back to full health. And again, oh actually, yeah, I forgot to talk about this on Hela as well. So for Hela, right? For Hela, one of the reason that you want to keep Hela alive is not just end-time act. Keeping your healer alive while the ad is doing their clones, it screws their whole team while buffing healer herself. So this is the reason why it's not just, oh, I'm gonna do a lot of damage to a thing and just kill the entire team. No, it's the self buff and the self heal for the on the clones, plus the damage. Plus all the damage and CC effect on the enemies to make us so good, right? And imagine doing all of that while having full absorption skill on enemies' death, right? This will be pretty insane if you pair Hela with Hydra. This is why no one uses other pilots on Hela, because Hydra just works so well on down Hela. It almost feels like it is the personal mecha for for Hydra, because their skill just works so well. So again, very nice, very good skill. And that's just 7% just for one unit dying, and it's already enough, honestly. 7% because usually if you put Hydra on a unit that is the unit that you put Hydra on are usually glass cannon, because or else what would you put Hydra on? Which I'll get into that, the reason why you want to put it on glass cannons. So that means units that you put Hydra on will do insane damage while being also very weak themselves. And because it can do insane damage, having 7% at 4 type absorb is already strong enough on able to self sustain. Now imagine if 2 units die. That's 14% self absorb, and well, I'm not sure if it's additive or it is just like adding under, or just adding based on the percentage, but doesn't matter. If more of a unit dies, if it goes over 10%, then that's already insane enough. So yeah, very strong skill. But again, it does require enemy dying, so if you're in a losing battle, then this skill might not be good as good. So so it's definitely, I guess it's like, I don't think it's a high risk, high reward. It's more of like a win more skill. So it doesn't help you in a dire situation unless your opponent already have one that died, which it does happen a lot of times. If you, yeah. Yeah, very good skill. I think I spent too long on this skill. Well, and yeah, for the second one, upon that, reduce damage by 7%. This one is not, you know, reduce damage by 7%. It's I don't know. Doesn't feel like a lot to me. When you know everything is proxying, you know, everything is proxying from skill. So what is the point of reducing damage, right? There's no point. Everything is 5,000 attack. So what is the point, right? Oh, this is one of the most important skills that actually have. Worship Me. Once per second, absorb 200 HP from ally with the highest HP as self. This is another insanely stupid translation. Basically, just every 1 second sucks 200 HP to herself, to her own mecha, basically, and can stack over the limit of the HP limit of the pilots, of the unit's pilots HP. So, can absorb over self max HP. Yeah, also increase defense. For self and the target. So not self for the so for herself and the target that she's sucking the HP from. So increase defense performance, which is pretty good. And so basically it's a permanent HP buff unless your Hydra is only one left, which does happen. This skill will not activate when there are no ally with higher HP than Absorption. So this skill is very, very strong because you see, it is every once per second absorb 200 HP. There's a high chance that even love, even regenerating 1%. I mean, I'm pretty sure that goes over 200 HP, but I think it's on par with the normal regeneration skill. It does take away from someone, but the thing is, a lot of times HP doesn't really matter on into this meta, right? But it does matter on units on glass cannon, because on glass cannon HP is usually very low, and by having this you can take probably more hits, or you can probably take more hits, especially if you're using it with firm steel, because there's I think most likely the 200 HP is the damage that you will take from taking one hit from steel. So essentially you're just gaining one free hits, or one or two free hits, or actually one or 0.5 free hits from the every second, which is pretty insane to this meta. Again, with the firm steel meta, where HP really doesn't matter, and HP is more of like how many hits can you take via firm steel. How many can you take via firm steel for you to not be bursted at. So yeah, so this skill is very, very strong. And again, if you're using units such as Hela, especially if you're using unit that is not 9-star yet, where you don't have enough copies to get to 9-star, so it doesn't have enough HP. It's also a very good one to increase more HP to get more hits in PvP, and just taking HP from units that doesn't really need the insane amount of HP that it already have. For example, Shingetter, that relies on iframe to defense, or Mazin Kaiser, Mazin Kaiser Saga, that also relies on iframe to iframe or invisibility to survive, and not necessarily HP. And taking HP from them, why not? Just take more hits from PvP. Very, very strong move and this is another reason why Hela is so good on Hydra is so good on glass cannons. And this is the reason why you don't want to use Hydra on units that have high HP, such as Mazin Kaiser, or any Mazinger, or any of the clad unit that have like over 7,000 HP, or over 8,000 HP. Yeah, you want to use unit that doesn't have a lot of HP, and and just a glass cannon overall, right? So it just makes any glass cannon able to be used now. And another reason why that is so is because of her last skill, Psychic Conveyor. Upon receiving damage, switch position with the attacker and inflict osculation effect upon nearby enemy. Min activate interval 3.2 seconds. Again, this is another what does osculation do moment. Osculation is just, it will just kind of vibrate the enemy, similar to the effect like the skills. Okay, how to say? You will see it once you see it. It's kind of like a small CC effect that just kind of like stuns your enemy for a little bit and nearby enemy. It just kind of like provide a safe passage on wherever Hydra is teleporting to, and almost guarantee Hydra is winning, or it's in the advantage, like it is in the advantage state on her new location. So again, very insane. But she doesn't need to take damage. However, again, this doesn't really matter upon taking damage. So that means if say a Dankoga shot at beam at it, it's gonna teleport with a spot with Dankoga and not gonna take the full blast from the Dankoga. It's gonna only take the one hit, which is nothing if you only take one hit from it. And you can just be, block out by the firm steel, and also just get absorbed back immediately. Again, just teleports their range into the enemy lines, and vibrates any enemy nearby if there's any, or if the melee unit are hitting it, it teleports with enemy skill or with enemy and immediately put Hela in the better position than their enemy, because if you're stunning the enemy and Hela can do some some insane damage, or can start a full combo onto the enemy that is trying to hit him. It's pretty crazy skill, honestly. Like, again, it does require it to take damage, which is not a bad thing. It is a better flavor. Again, this is the reason why it says that does not stack with 100% evade skill, because it is kind of like evade type ability, but it is kind of like a counter type abilities. Again, and this is one of the reasons why this pilot almost put ranged units out of service. Because say a range try to shoot Hela, it shoots Hela, it teleports with Hela, the range got into the enemy line and just gonna get gained up. Like, for example, it teleports with Wolong gonna just perish before it can even revive anyone, or I guess it revive himself, which is not ideal, right? It's gonna revive himself and just further just die immediately if they're in the enemy's line, because the enemy can just turn around and just blast the Wolong to death, or Dankoga or something like that. And this is the crazy thing about Hydra. It put Hydra, especially if you're playing with Hela, it puts Hela in a super safe position where it can just constantly, it can constantly be, buffing herself and damaging the whole team and debuffing the whole team. And it can put enemies' range into jeopardy. So basically put range out of service. So again, if you're using Wolong, and you can probably try to pay attention on the battlefield and see if your Wolong get teleported into enemy lines. That might be because that's a work of it's a work of Hydra. And honestly, it doesn't have to be a range. It can be the enemy's glass cannon. You teleport the enemy's glass cannon in the vulnerable position. That'll be the end of the enemy's glass cannon. And again, even if it's a close range battle, you just switch the range with the you switch spot with the attacker that's meleeing the Hela. It will immediately put Hela into advantage state because of the CC effect, because of the osculation effect. So again, very strong skill, and this is the reason why it makes Hydra such a good unit, both defensively, offensive, and offensively. Because the last skill, this one is almost an offensive ability as well, and it's like not offensive as in like it adds attack. It's offensive because it straight up destroys a certain meta, or it straight up destroys a certain type of unit, which is a long range unit or support unit. Like, or actually at Yura. Like, imagine Yura trying to shoot at Hydra and it teleports with Hydra, and Yura is in the middle of the enemy team. It's gonna just immediately die. This is one of the reasons why I don't really see any more Euro uses after a while, assuming it's because Euro cannot survive with units such as Hydra on the field that just teleport them into the vulnerable spot. You want Euro to be back there shooting an arrow and buffing your team with the shield, right? It's not gonna happen with Hydra, when Hydra's around. So, and this is the reason why I kind of showcase it with Tilted Armor first, because there's, if you pair with Hydra, right, or if you're playing with Hyrja, there's you might want to get hit sometimes. You might want to get hit sometimes to screw with the enemy team. So, because again, it just it's offensive into a level where it screws with the enemy's team. So this is overall why Hydra is Hyrja is so good. If you're winning, if your enemy is dying, it can self-sustain with unit that is hard to self-sustain, such as unit that does elemental damage. Zhenjuche, Zhen Qinglong, Hela and stuff like that. Or you can just further increase sustainability on that can already buff and that can already self-sustain with absorption skill. Worship extremely strong healing ability that pairs really well into this meta, that is with the firm steel. It just gets it just takes more hits. Works really well if you're taking HP from unit that doesn't rely on HP to hit tank, instead relies on iframe or invincibility to tank, which is half of the meta this time. So, and very strong. And against Second Converter, this skill single-handedly screws with their entire team's range of range units. Very strong. Kind of offensive as well. Offensive and defensive at the same time. So, and Hydra, the tankiest unit, the best unit to put on glass cannon. To put on glass cannon, to put it on a unit that couldn't sustain or not as tanky before Awaken units. And the only thing that she should be used on is unit with high HP, or the unit that doesn't rely on the pilot to be tanky, right? So because Hydra is tanky, you will want to put her on unit that needs to be tanky. Because she's already tanky, you don't really need her on unit that can already tank. I mean, you can, but it really depends on what unit it is. So she only absorbed 200, then Mecha Mazinger Saga won't take damage at all, right? Well, how do you say? Mazin Kaiser, for example, if you're sucking the HP from Mazin Kaiser, right? Mazin Kaiser will be taking the 200 damage, will be taking the 200 HP. However, if, Mazin Kaiser will most likely be having absorption skill. And Mazin Kaiser is gonna regenerate like probably thousands upon thousands of HP per second. Per second, Mazin Kaiser is probably gonna regenerate thousands of, a lot of HP per second. So, what's the point of HP at that point, right? Even if they have firm steel, Mazin Kaiser does multi-hits. So all of them can regenerate like at least 50 HP per second. Actually, no, it's not even per second, If you, multi-hits, imagine it does like 50 HP per second. That's like 500 HP already per second. So it's like, and that's with Harsher as well. So HP doesn't really matter when either Shingetter or Mazin Kaiser are doing their insane damages that does guaranteed percentage damage onto the enemy for the absorption skill. And if you have love as your co-pilot skill somewhere, then that's further skill health regeneration for Mazin Kaiser. So, So as far as I know, it will constantly be taking 200 HP because the balancing for this unit is that it will constantly be taking the 200 HP until the Mazin Kaiser are the same HP as Hela, or whoever the strongest or whoever the highest, and then it will and then Hydra will not steal it anymore. So there's a cap on how much, how many things, there's a cap on how strong it can be. But the problem is there's no cap on that because your Mazin Kaiser will just be at max HP almost all the time as long you don't get CC'd or one shot, which it does happen. If you get defense break by some units and get CC and get knocked down or get stunned to death, that could happen. But if not, if your Mazin Kaiser are doing the job that it is supposed to be doing and surviving and doing damage, it won't happen. The most likely scenario is both your Hela or your Glass Cannon will be the same HP with Mazin Kaiser. So that means both of your units will have like 10,000 HP. Yeah, a Glass Cannon will have 10,000 HP, and by that point, HP does matter because 10,000 HP is no joke. Even though HP in today's meta doesn't really matter. So yeah. So yeah, just kind of a good thing about it, I guess. Yeah. So I hope that explains your question. So again, but you do make a great point. So if your Mazin Kaiser is dying a lot, either by being stunned by, say, by Act, if they're being stunned by those things and just dying all the way, then that's a problem. That if your Mazin Kaiser is not iframing everything and not doing the big damages, then that might be a problem. And by that point, it might not be the build on the Hydra part. It might be the build on the Mazin Kaiser Saga's part. Because again, Mazin Kaiser Saga is a meta unit in today's standard, so you definitely want to check out if there's anything wrong, or not anything wrong, because there's a high chance that you didn't build it wrong. There's a high chance that it doesn't fit with the current meta. So say if you're not using anti-burn armor against people using Genjuche, then that can be a problem, right? If you're not using anti CC units, if you're going against Diablos, then that might be a problem. So definitely keep that in mind. Keep what you're fighting against in mind, so your Mazin Kaiser can be a rock doing big damages, so your Mazin Kaiser can stay at full health at all time as well, with Absorb Armor or with the Claw as well. So because both of them can be pretty self-sustaining. If not, like if Mazin Kaiser is not working, you can also try using or like if you have it, Shingetter Saga, because Shingetter Saga again, Shingetter Saga, you are doing iframes and you're not you're not using HP. You kind of just you kind of just iframing until they die. So yeah, Carestia can fight against like Hela. That makes feel so good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into that later. Yeah, I'm gonna get into that later. I'm just gonna wrap up on Hydra and finish answering the thing. So, but yeah, okay, yeah. But I hope that answers your questions. Just, I believe, as far as I know, every 1 second it'll absorb 200 HP from whoever from a unit that's the highest HP. So basically it's a constant damage dealing onto your highest HP enemy. So it is a scary thought, I guess. It is a scary thought, but as long your units are self-sustaining, your highest HP unit are self-sustaining, which it usually is, because most high HP unit in this game does normal attack where you can put on absorption skill, where you can put on the absorption shell. So yeah. Alright. Alright, now let's get into Carestia. So Carestia, as far as I know, right? I do have a translation on it, but let me just look at it real quick. I never really have the time to look at it. So when the status effect of HP removal is on, like surely improve all status, or yeah, all of his unit status. Not the best for chassis. Okay, reduce regeneration effect by 35% for all enemies and every 10 seconds. Basically implant the seed into enemies, and when the attack hits, it will do big damage onto enemies. And oh, okay. So the good thing about this, right? The good thing about this is his last chassis, or his new chassis, is that it's basically a supercharged version of Last Stand. Basically, you have a 14-second built-in Last Stand, or really good Last Stand. So basically, when it's taken the fatal damage, right? It will greatly improve all of his stats, damage, status, immunities. Yeah, basically become almost immune to everything, right? For 14 seconds. So it will be alive for 14 seconds. Like, yeah, as a 14-second, back, we're back to the, or again, we don't know if Carestia S is the meta yet, but it can last for 14 seconds minimum. Yeah, minimum on staying alive. So pretty dang strong. So yeah, pretty dang strong. And during the time, if enemy dies, not including clones and not including mirror units, if enemy dies, it increased this countdown by 7 seconds, which is, holy crap, this is just pretty insane. But again, it does require enemy to die. But if an enemy does die, like, then this is just a bit overpowered, because that's like 31 seconds of invincibility, and if 3 of your units dies or something, then that lasts for like I don't even want to count it anymore. But yeah, basically just a very strong lasting. Yeah, very strong lasting. However, it's not as good as Hela's chassis, because see, Hela chassis is kind of similar, when Hela, when the enemies die, game thing. But the thing is, the Hela chassis also count towards clones, and it's also very good in PvE. But Carestia is not gonna die in PvE, right? So I don't see Carestia being bad, or being able to use this a lot in PvE. Cause yeah, I mean, unless you're fighting against PvE bosses, that does a lot of damage. But the thing is, if you just build a team right, your team will not die. So so far I'm not looking forward to this. It is probably gonna be good in PvP. However, we will see. We will see. We work in King of hold on. Oh, I don't know how King of is that the one? Hold on, is it 1v1 or is that the let me check. Oh, this one. Yeah. Pretty sure. Yeah. If I'm pretty sure it will be, because 14 second. The thing is, see, after you kill an enemy during your last turn, right? Actually, yeah, because it is 14 seconds, so maybe, yeah, probably. But the thing is, on the next unit, it couldn't last until on the next unit, it couldn't last for until later. So, I mean, you can use absorption skill to get the health back a little bit. Yeah, sure, but that's about it, I think. I'm pretty sure when you get health back, it still counts towards the 14-second invincibility time. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be really good in King of in KOM, but I think there's better units for KOM. This can be a pretty good suicide units though. Like, pretty sure it can last until the end of the end of the time. Yeah, 14 seconds. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna last. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, but I think people might use it to go against units that heals a lot. Because again, this debuff the whole enemy teams regenerative effect by 35%. So if you combine this with Ren, this can be a pretty good, like, just make your opponents not be able to regenerate health. So I think this might be pretty good. And the 10-second, the thing is, the implant a C in the enemy thing. It sounds good, but every 10 second though, pretty sure there's some CC as well. But every 10 second though, is it worth it? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit iffy for me. Yeah, it's a bit iffy for me. A lot of his actions are pretty cool as well. I believe his counter is a force grab, which is good, better than Hela on that part. And his action I think is also invisibility or iframe. So overall, big improvement to his older self. And now that's actually useful. Useful in PvP. I'm pretty sure. However, against PvP units now, it's not gonna do much. I think. Yeah, it's not gonna be as. I don't think it's gonna. Go over PvP units now. I'm be wrong though. I hope it's wrong because I kind of want to get Carestia. So such a cool unit. Yes, such a cool unit. So yeah, I hope this answers everything for Carestia. If you have any question, just ask me. Yeah, any question, just ask me. I'll try my best to answer it. And I'm also gonna be rolling this unit after I explain anything. So definitely stay tuned on that if you want to see that. So yeah, very cool, very cool. Alright, yeah, that should be good for Carestia, and let's get into Watermelon Kaiser. Watermelon Kaiser, one of the new free-to-play unit. And I have my builds right here. This is my general build for this unit. I'll get into detail why. So I have actually I'm gonna get into the unit first. So unit, same chassis as Million Ripper, kind of disappointment. However, Million chassis again. Million Ripper's chassis isn't that bad because it is the full immune again. It is the full immune onto a lot of status effect. It is only not immune to burn, acid, and knockdown, which can be easily compensated by parts. Which is very, very handy for free to play players. It is almost, well, I mean, not exactly, not even close, but it almost fulfills the same role as Tekken Evil. Because again, Tekken Evil is good being able to anti anything. Because the pilot is anti every debuff. You can easily put on anti knockdowns. You have iframes, easily anti everything. This is the reason why Tekken is so good, because it's just a rock over there. You can try to burn it, you can try to do anything to it, it's not gonna help, right? So, but Mecha is kind of do the same thing, right? It antis everything, it's just a rock over there, you can try to do anything to it, it's not gonna budge. But it's nowhere near as strong as Tekken Blade, yeah. Tekken Evil, yeah, nowhere near. But again, it is a really, really good rock hereby rock meaning it antis everything, right? Anti-CC and antis everything. So very good. Its weapon is also pretty good. I would say it's comparable with what's called yes, comparable with or probably as good, if not better, or more damage, or more modern, with Giga Giant, which Giga Giant is pretty strong. It has a really good counter. You have a really good ult that has a really fast cooldown. By the way, I'm pretty sure it's also either iframe or invincible during the time. Very nice. So overall, very good unit for see, I'm doing a tank build, but it is constantly doing 3000 DPS, very strong. But overall, just a strong PvE unit. And due to the nature of its attack and its its weapon, it also provided some minor CC abilities. With the planes, with the CC, how do you say, the bombs and stuff. If it hits, of course, if it hits. But yeah, overall very strong. The weaknesses is a bit slow on that, but it's compensated by its attack for a lot of them being, you know, counters and his action being just teleport into the enemy's face and doing damage. So speed is not really that much of a problem, but this build I have does provide some speed onto it, which I'll get into it. So 1-0 murder rerun coming to Ian mid September. So probably in about 2 to 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Just now until the 20th, probably, yeah. Now until the 20th. Soon, basically, soon. Yeah, very soon. Stay tuned for my video, and I'll get into that, as soon as it releases. So but, again, very, very strong unit. I'm pretty sure the grab is not a force grab, but it's fine. Again, it's a rock, so don't worry about it, yeah. And plus, I mean, every unit has it, so it doesn't really matter. Again, 2x odd, pretty sure it's gonna be crit, and the counter that it has is just very powerful. So overall, yeah, just a very, very strong unit for free to play. Another good thing about it is you might you know, like in the beginning I thought you have a lot of weapons, so it might be pretty bad. But the thing is, after I tested, it actually uses this weapon pretty fast, so it doesn't, you know, it doesn't hinder on, you know, see, like, it usually, yeah, see, it just do it, and it immediately goes to melee. Pretty, yeah, I think it's pretty good, that it is so fast. I think it's even faster than Giga Giants, in some degrees, so. But personally, I don't think you can tank as well as Giga Giant, because Giga Giant have a built-in Hard Shell, or built-in Firm Steel, and a regeneration ability is more of a standalone unit, so overall, in tanking abilities, I still think Giga Giant is still better, in my opinion. So, but you know, this unit is, I think it does a different role. This unit is anti-CC, while Giga Giant is just tank, you know, tanking hits, and this one is tanking CC abilities. So. And this is my build, so let me get into my build. Alright, let me drink some water. I'm talking for so long. So for Mecha, this is a build I go for. So I go for the good old Hitomi, because Hitomi can die 3 times, and this will proc. His chassis 3 times. You know, the split into 6 1 minute. These suicide attack minions, if it hits, does some good damage. Yeah, I can see that. There's some pretty good damage. So putting it with Hitomi is, you know, I think it's pretty good combo. Plus Hitomi, you know, itself is pretty tanky. You can revive 3 times. You know, mitigate the fact, you know, so basically just making it not need any other revive skills. And also, you know, it also increases, you know, the action speed by 24%, which, you know, Mecha Kaiser does have good actions. You know, Mecha Kaiser does have some of the best action for free-to-play units. And other one just, you know, even more offensive abilities. So, and you know, buffing the attack and the melee quota even more with the transition core for even more damage and core downs. Even better, combine it with Hitomi. More self-sustainability with the absorption skill. I will only suggest this skill. I don't think I'll suggest anyone else. You know, just for more sustainability, because, you know, this unit is classified as a tank in my opinion. So you don't really want to do damage. It doesn't even really do that much damage compared to some DPS free to play. So just leave a DPS to some other people. Trust the stabilizer, because again, if you go into a thing, it enters all status condition except for knockdown, corrosive, and burn. So you will want an anti-knockdown on it. So Chassis Stabilizer is a really good choice on it. You can also put on Emergency Brake, but I don't think there's a point because it already enters everything, right? So you kind of want it to be the one taking hits. So Chassis Stabilizer is what I'll only suggest. Again, Firm Steel is still what I suggest, mainly because to this meta, right? But if Firm Steel meta ever passes, then you can, you know, freely uses some other units such as more HP. Yeah, more HP. Even this one, the anti-blast. If the blast meta is coming, anti-status effect. But the thing is, it only reduces the damage, but not the status effect. So, the status is really immune, but it will reduce the damage. But I don't suggest this one though. If you're already, because you're already immune to the status effect, which is the most important part. Maybe even memory metal. But yeah, up to you. Firm steel overall, I think you won't go wrong with firm steel. Yeah, you won't go wrong with firm steel. This is what I think. So, and then tilted armors is you couldn't really go wrong with it. Not really bad. Again, it recommends quantum, which I think is not a bad choice either. You can even put on the hydraulic for even more damage reduction. You don't need this one. Yeah, you don't need anti-CCs. Acid will also be a very good one. Oh, anti-corrosive is also a very good one because the only thing that I'm scared of is anti-defense. So if Mecha get defense break, that means all of his chassis and all of his parts will not work. And plus is also scared to corrosive. You can also they can also put this one, which it will also reduce the time for corrosive effect by 84%. So very good part on it, making it truly not scared of anything. So I just put Crab just because more tanky, right? More tanky. Oh, another build that if you want to go for more free to play, I think you can do this, right? Put on the ape, because the ape, the GA21, immune to all knockdown. This means you don't really need. That means you don't really need the chassis stabilizer anymore. So you want to replace this chassis stabilizer with air conditioner. Reason being because air conditioner already reduced both reduce fire, immune to fire and reduce fire damage. This means you're truly now immune to everything, making this unit completely immune to just everything that an enemy can throw at you. So this is also a very cool build that you. Oh, let me answer the question. Hey, you can barrage counter defensive skill like Alu counter Hita skill. Barrage. Hold on. Which one is that from? For who? Can barrage counter skill or counter defense? Oh, barrage. Oh, as a pilot, right? Let me see. Who's barrage again? I don't remember. Alu's counter. Oh, this one. Cleanse, free, paralyze. This one, right? Yeah. No. Wait, hold on. No, yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, it won't work because the chassis. Yeah, the chassis does acid damage, normal damage, acid damage, and some knockdowns and some other CC effects. So it only this one only goes against freeze, burn, and paralyze status conditions. So it's not gonna do much against acid, right? Acid or normal type damage. So this is why it won't do much against Hita's chassis. So yeah, sadly it won't work, but it should be able to work against it should be to be able to work against Ren Qinglong. Yeah, Ren Qinglong and Ren Zhuchui it probably can do something against that. Pretty sure. Yeah. So if you want to try it, you can try to do it, but I haven't seen people using on it. I want to see people using this skill in PvE against bosses, against elemental bosses. But I don't know if it will be good against PvE. So book and try it out. This is a really good skill in PvE for sure. I know people use this for elemental skill, for elemental bosses, so you can test it out. Alright, I hope this answers your questions. Yeah, let me get back to this one. So, but yeah, this is why I'll say I might go for this one. This one's a bit unconventional, I feel like, because I take away chest stabilizer, and I took away the chances block. But I don't know, I kind of like this one. Yeah, immune to burn, immune to or not immune, but reduce the effect of acid and defense break, and anti to everything. Anti to knockdowns. Now your melee is now completely immune to everything. Everything your opponents can throw is truly just a rock over there. So yeah, very, very strong. So your opponents had to kill you with brute force. It had to kill you with brute force and not with anything else, right? It had to just blast you with everything they got. And the reason why I have this one on her on for the speed increase by 50% and hugely improve turn and break, plus changing speed and weapon changing speed. I put this one. I'm pretty sure you can see why, because Mecha is slow. Adding that on increases speed, just overall increases chance of dodging a bullet, chance of just walking away from danger, and just positioning, and also uses he will use this, or the Mecha can use his weapon much faster and do more of his powerful actions on the enemy. So yeah, this is the reason why I put this on. I think this is the best, or one of the best co-pilot skill on it for Mecha Kaiser. This one. If you don't have it, you can compensate it with her aura. I think this will also be very good. Just know that for her aura, her aura, the anti-ice one will not be there. You're just using it as a speed boost. You can also use it, if you want to be more offensive, you can put on, the good old control for Arashi. Arashi's control is also very good. There's an anti, or it's a CC effect that's immune to, it's a CC effect that is immune to immunities. So if you want to give it some more CC effect with what it's battling, same thing with her as well. Her control is also not too bad as a protection a bit. So, is there anything else? Anything else? Pretty sure there's more, but most of the ones I'm pretty sure you can think of. Yeah. And overall, I don't think you really need to think about it that much. Because if you have the build already, it really doesn't matter what you have on. You can put on something that buffs the team. For example, honestly, you can put on love. Actually, you can put on love, because this unit is already immune to everything, right? So what's the point of adding more stuff onto it? So you can put on love for your team, team buff and stuff. Yeah, those will be pretty good. So, but yeah, I think that covers for Mecha Kaiser. If you have any questions, please ask me. And again, if you're watching this later, feel free to ask me in comments and in the description. So, see if you die. Oh my god, they're so preserving very, very well. See, when it dies, it's like the minute that came out does 3,000 damage almost. Very insane. So, very nice, very nice. Alright, well, that should be it for Mecha Kaiser. Let's go into Ren. I don't think I have done a video on this, but Ren is the best support pilot, or the best debuff support pilot. Honestly, it's more of a it's more of a debuff pilot. But yeah, Ren is probably one of the best debuff pilot there is, even when the new units come. Ren, where is Ren? Ren. Actually, how long have Ren came out? Where is Ren anyway? Wow, Ren is way back. What the heck? I don't know why Ren. EN version Hel soon take PLC of add soon. Wait, what does PLC mean? Take place, you mean replace at? The thing is, right? The thing is at and take pick of at soon. Yeah. What does PLC mean? Yeah, okay. If you think it'll take over at, what's it called? It's it's a bit hard to say because Gila is strong only because take place. Okay. No, see the thing is, without Gila won't be strong. Without Gila won't be meta. This is the thing. Without Gila won't be strong in PvE. Without Gila won't be strong in PvP. So it's kind of like they're in like a self-balancing. The stronger Ad is, the stronger Gila is. This is literally how it goes. So if no one is using Ad, then no one will use Gila. If no one is using Gila, then everyone will try to use Ad, and everyone will try to use Gila. So it's kind of like a balancing. So I kind of like it honestly, because it's kind of like a balance. You know, it's kind of like fighter. Yeah, it's like it gives Ad users to just use Ad at your own risk, right? Use Ad at your own risk, and also to put Gila in at your own risk as well. Because if you put Gila in, that means your opponents can say, "Oh, you're using Gila, then I'm gonna just use a non-Ad team and just screw and just kill your Gila and just kill your team, right?" But if your opponent's using Gila, then free win with Gila, right? So so this is the thing. So so they're in a healthy relationship with each other, I think. Yeah, because if one is strong, the other is strong. If one is weak, the other is weak. So I kind of like it. Yeah, kind of like it. But the thing is, the good thing about Gila is one thing that Gila is definitely better than Ad is stability in PvE. Gila is so good in PvE, probably one of the best few units in PvE in recent history. Is much better than Ad that is placed. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I think one rotation does almost 80% of the damage. So it's definitely insane. It is insane. If your opponent doesn't have any recover abilities, your opponents will probably die in one rotation of double Ad. So alright. So let's continue on Ren. So hold on. Let me go to Ren again. Let me go to Ren. Ren. Okay, so I say hello and actually describe my team is my ally. Oh yeah, that's right. I can describe my ally and my enemy is my ally. Yeah, this is true. Yeah. Is there a weird relationship? Yeah. Oh yeah, and emergency will be a pretty good. Emergency can be quote unquote anti Gila, but the thing is Gila is continuous, right? The emergency is not gonna save you forever, right? So Gila with Linda Awaken OP. Why? Well, Linda Awaken OP because Jesus Christ, its skills are absolutely insane. So hold on, let me go to Linda. Let me go to Linda Awaken. So Linda Awaken, so the new skill. Okay, we don't need to care about the new active skill. New active skill doesn't make this sword big anymore. So don't even replace this first skill. Not fun, not useful, in my opinion. Pretty sure it's useful, but I don't want to use it. I want I want my skill to be big, right? But it is good though. But it is good if you're using if you're fighting against Padas, I mean you won't use AS anyway, so this matters. Yeah. Anyway. So the first passive, when melee hits, dealt extra damage plus defense break, plus defense break the ability and the target's defense and target's melee defense decreased by 20% forever. This means the moment the moment Linda touches the enemy, it will forever reduces the enemy's melee defense by 20%. Imagine this in PvE settings. The moment he touches somebody, the defense is decreased by 20% forever. And it also defense break them. Do you know what defense break means? That means normally normally units with CC that might work will not work anymore. For example, if it touches my melon, or if it touches what's it called? If it touches Tekkaman Evil, then Tekkaman Evil is no longer immune to everything. Tekkaman Evil will be grabbed. Tekkaman Evil can be CC'd. So that means, yeah, if Linda touches anybody, then they're kind of screwed. And guess what? The minimum interval is 3 seconds. So that means, again, 3 seconds is not a long time. So every 3 seconds, if it touches the enemy, then the enemy is screwed, kind of. For at least 1 second, I'm gonna assume so. And if Linda is using some unit with CC abilities or with some other units, then that's pretty insane. For example, if the unit have immunity, full immunity with chassis stabilizer and everything, Linda's gonna touch it. It's still gonna get knocked down because, you know, it got defense break, right? So yeah, first skill already pretty freaking insane. So and then the second skill, melee attack. Yeah, after melee attack hits, forever increases its self action cooldown by 2% and 10% attack and 10% attack. Oh my god! And 10% attack and 10% melee attack buff, like just pure damage buff, and can affect every or can trigger up to 10 times, so stack up to 10 times, and minimum interval of 3 seconds as well. So like, wow, yeah. The more you melee, the faster the melee will be, like their action will be, and we all know how strong, a fast melee action will be. You know, it can just keep on spamming more and more actions, and it will do even more damage. So like, you know, pretty freaking OP. It's another meta. Is pure meta. This is pure meta. And once you stack 10 times, that means it will do 100. It doubles the damage. It doubles the damage of your units that Hila or that Linda is using on. So no need for. Honestly, I don't even know how whole Awaken is gonna be at this point when Linda is this strong. Yeah, like holy crap. Again, it's forever. I like how everything for Linda is just forever increase. You know, action cooldown by 2%, by this and that. Absolutely insanity. And the last one is final damage taken is decreased by 11%. Not bad. Or at max is 15%. And then once you hit a melee attack 100 times, which probably not gonna happen, unless your unit have like a very fast, melee attack things. Final damage and defense are increased 15%, by 15%, and at the same time increase attack speed and movement speed greatly. So if you can do that, that is also a very strong unit in PV, in PV, than PvP and in PvE. Like, everything about these units are just absolutely broken. I love so much. I mean, I kind of wish there's a new, active skill, but holy crap, its other skill are strong enough to make this unit good in PvP and in PvE. Holy crap, absolutely insanity, man. It can tank now, it can melee now, it can do anything now. So yeah, this is what made Linda is so strong. So let's get back to Ren, and yeah, but if you have any question on Linda, I'm probably gonna do a video on it. Absolutely insanity. Alright, Ren. So I'm gonna just get into I'm just gonna summarize everything. I'm not gonna read everything. So what's so sorry about this? Memory loss. Reason being, it makes all units not be able to move for like 5 seconds. So absolutely freaking insanity. Actually no, it's once. Actually no, it's 1 second, but it's still good enough. You see, this is the reason why people goes for refresher core, because if your opponents are not able to do anything, then this is just free damage for you. Like, in this meta, you couldn't really do anything to the opponents unless they're not doing anything or at that moment. There's a great chance that when you use the ability and your opponent is just blasting them with with their attacks while they're not moving, there's a high chance that all your opponents will just get wiped out immediately. And this is the reason why people use Refresher Core, and even if they don't, it cleanses all of their enemies' actions CD and also do some damage. So absolutely OP, AS. And you'll want her to keep her alive for her to use her active skill twice with a Refresher Core. So, and it is a challenge to try to keep her alive until she can use 2 active skills. So this is just like your 2 AoE damage bullets, just boop, and then everyone just and everyone could move, and for your team to attack. So very very strong AS. Definitely like a meta, yeah, probably one of the most meta skill as well. The other skill is good, but it's not like meta. It's not necessary, like it's not needed, but it's a pretty good support skill, especially fitting her role where you want to keep her alive. The trip and fall ignores immunity, just make a unit trip a little bit. Does quite a bit of a CC though, so not too bad. Not too bad. Interverse 4 seconds, not too bad as well, especially for this skill. Very good CC effect as well. Yeah, very good CC effect. And as far as I know, there's no defensive ability for this because it does immune CC. So yeah, see, it does stun and knockdown, so very very strong. It's also callable, but I don't really suggest using this as a call. I mean, it is strong, but it is not necessary. It's just a good add-on, right? Missile interference. Also, I don't think. Also, unless the meta becomes like a missile meta, I don't think this will be good. But if the meta becomes as missile meta, for example, if you're fighting against, let's say, New Arhem again. If you're fighting against New Arhem again, then this skill will be good. But for now, this skill would probably not be as good. I couldn't think of a unit that can, or I couldn't think of a missile or a unit that would home missile that's good at the moment. So I don't think this unit will be good, or this skill will be good at the moment. But once the meta that comes by, this skill will be very, 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 very good. Land this game. So, yeah, for sure. This skill, again, if the enemy is using missiles, definitely go for it. The last one is probably one of her best passive skill. This is the first one that reduces the healing abilities, right? Yeah, destroy the maintenance of enemies units. Reduce all enemies HP recovery effect by 30%. Very strong effect, honestly. Very strong effects. This does not affect per second regenerability, so it doesn't affect love. But if your enemy is using some healing builds, some big healing builds, big healings with Ashima, with stuff like that, right? You can greatly reduce the amount of heal and greatly reduce the amount of their self-preservation or self-sustainability to make your enemies much easier to hit. So honestly, Ren existed just to try to make your enemies, or try to make your enemy team easier to kill. And the most important thing is just it's just her AS. You want to make your opponents not move and just blast them, one-shot them. So this is why a lot of people are very, very mad that Ren doesn't use her AS, because Ren is the RNG and stuff. Let me just do a custom build right away to see how it goes. And also, you usually want to put it on a range unit such as Yuri, Dankoga, even any range unit or any unit that can survive. However, because she is one of those units that is the pilot doesn't have any defensive skill, but so that's why you need a unit that can host it, that can be a carrier for Ren. So let's put a unit that can be a carrier. So a strong unit that can stand by itself. Let's see. What will be a unit that can stand by himself, without any parts and stuff like that? Shingeter would be pretty good, but I don't really want to waste it on it. First was very good. I don't really want to waste it on it. Let's see. Shingeter Dragon, of course. I don't want to waste Shingeter Dragon on it. I mean, it's not wasting, but big at a point, right? Let's see. Something preferably tanky and also does some CCs, right? So let's put on, let's put it on, yeah, actually, I couldn't think of one right now, actually. Let me scroll down and see if I have any unit that cause, you know, that can CC and also do a thing. So, who can survive and do CC? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in Shingetter. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in Shingetter. Shingetter Dragon. Shingetter. They got Ren. Now I'm gonna put it on Shingetter G. Why not? Just for fun. Yeah, just for fun. If you have, yeah, just fun, because you know I think Shingetter G is safer because Shingetter G does have a long range effect, mainly because you know my Shingetter G is not at 4-star, because you know Shingetter is stronger at 4-star, or it's Shingetter at 4-star. So let's do a custom build on it. So you don't really care about a unit. You just want her to survive. So first we Saga, yeah, welcome. Hi Farangina. Hi Laura. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Like Indonesian players make up most of my audience. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Ashima plus rank control on Shin Getter should be a good. Yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah. I'm gonna put a Shin Getter just for a thing. Because pretty sure a lot of people didn't roll for Getter G. So let's then put on this. So refresher core, oops. Yeah, refresher core. Absorb. Yeah, absorb. I will go for detachment. From still, of course, the aggro, or this one, or this one, or I can go for this one. So up to you. If you think the battle is gonna be long, you can go for this. If you want to just end the question, or if you think the battle will be mediocre, you can go for this one. If you think if you want to end the battle right away, or if you're going to a battle that they want to end the match quickly, you will want to go for this one, right? But I'm gonna put it on this one just for the case for it. And then you want to put on this little bird. This bird is farmable, so don't use badge for it. So go long handle for longer CC. That's true. Yeah, you can go for long handle as well, but for this one, I kind of want to go for survivability. Well, I mean, but honestly, yeah, because I don't have the thing. So yeah, honestly, long handle might be a good choice on this as well. So hey, 1 second, let me cough real quick. So, and then and for the co-pilot skill, rewind will be a really good choice. Yeah, rewind, just for even more defense. And you can put in some, yeah. I think this is a pretty good support for for this one unit. And you use long handle, or you can use long handle, or can use or long handle for more CC, or can use what's it called? The absorption skill for more sustainability. And this is my general this is my general Ren build. So and if you can have a range unit that can both survive and and support, then by all means you can try it out. People carry this, people put Ren on the Osmotus, because Osmotus is a good carry for Ren as well, because it's not that Ren's skill is good on Osmotus, it's just Osmotus is a good carry for Ren, because Ren itself, you just need Ren to exist, right? So, oh, not him. Wrong unit. So let me put on back then I used Tsukumi on Ren. Yeah, back then I used Tsukumi because Tsukumi is somewhat pretty defensive in terms of a range unit. So, and you can also CC a lot. So, and but if you're using that, if you use Tsukumi, you want to use this shard instead. So, but this is what I used back then. If you're interested, you guys can edit a little bit and try it for yourself. Alright, so that should be it for Ren. Any more questions? If you guys have any one more question, just ask me. But yeah, Saga Tang Penhuni. Oh, but yeah, anything else? I guess, let me guess you guys one more news. I guess, yeah, so if you guys are interested, these are the next, skin for the, or not the next for Ian, but the skin for the secret at the moment. And then we have the unit for, or Smai. I did a video on it, so if you're interested, you can check it out. Huge AoE damage, so, yeah. Alright, thank you guys so much for being here. Let's time to start rolling. Alright, again, any question, just ask me. I'm gonna start rolling some of the units that I want, so definitely stay tuned on that as well. By the way, good try, yeah? Any questions, just feel free to ask me, and I'll answer them as best as I could. So, talk so much. Well, while you type, I'm gonna start rolling. So this is for Carestia. This is a Carestia bot that we got from the raid boss. So let's see if I get anything. I thought I get it further. Do you know what the next collab will be for Ian? Most likely, honestly, stream when ending soon again. Oh, it's fine. I'm rolling soon right now again, and everything I talk about will be timestamped after the stream, so you can rewind and watch everything, right? So, yeah. Okay, so I didn't get anything from the first 10 roll. Oof. Kinda sad, but it's fine. Let's keep going. Kinda want to roll for, yeah, kinda want to roll for a little bit of, on Belial. The thing is, I also want to save some for Zeo. Okay, I won't get his one copy. I want to get his one copy for this one. And the rest I'm gonna develop it. So, if anyone is more interested in seeing me roll, definitely tell people to come by, because I'm gonna roll soon. Roll the banners, or yeah. Hopefully I don't use up everything, because I really need to save some for, for great Zeo, so. And now thinking about it, should I even, should I? Okay, yeah, one copy, yeah. Should I? Do I? You know, why not? Just for you guys. Let me do it. Alright, let me go here, and I'm gonna do on a second one. Is it true no Gridman for, what the? Is it no for Gridman? As far as I know, it's mainly because copyright issues. However, I don't think there is a possibility of it not coming forever. Maybe one day, the thing will be lifted. So we will see. Hopefully it will come. Pretty sure they will jump into any opportunity for them to, have the collab. So. Alright, come on. Just one copy, yeah. I just need one copy and I'm fine. Cause I really don't want to develop too much, so. Oof, I'm dying now. Yeah, come on, I wish they followed Juga Nangpa. Yeah, that would be so good, yeah. Shining finger, yeah. Come on, just one copy, and I'm fine. No. Maybe I should, yeah, maybe I should have waited and develop it. It's fine, just for the stream. Then that means I'm probably not gonna roll for Carestia. I mean, yeah, it's not even strong it's not even that strong anyway, so no loss there. It's one copy. I see the pain, yeah. Beta is developed via beta. So. God, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll just get a pity, I guess. Yeah, for this one. And I'll find some way for the Grey Zeal collab. This is a bit tough. Also, stay tuned for Grey Zeal video. The thing is, I don't really like the design for Grey Zeal that much, but I do want some chunky boys. I do want some chunky boys. So let me just get a bit of it. Alright, last ticket 10 roll. Please give me some. God. Oh, got one. Alright, I'm done. I'm done. I used all my ticket and I finally got one. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm just gonna develop the rest and I'm so done. I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah, I'm saving everything else. Yeah, my 18,000 gems for Grey Zeal. Yeah, I'm saving that for Grey Zeal. How many copies do I have now? I have 2 copies, I think. Now just wait for just wait for the developer. How many rolls was that? That was 50 rolls, right? Yeah, that was 50 rolls. 50 rolls for 1 copies. It's not the worst, right? It's not the worst. I'm telling myself that it's not the worst. Because who knows when it will come in development, right? So, such a cool unit, and it's not even that good anyway. But things, it is Belial though. It is Belial. It is the alright, whatever. As well. Alright, yeah, that's the world for today. I'm done. Alright, is there anything else that I haven't done for today? I don't think so. This is I guess just a showcase for you guys, or just information for you guys. So if you go into the Discord, we are hosting a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. So here are the things. So if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel, definitely come by and free of entry, and you will get and for the winner you will get a prize. So just come by and have some fun. Top 1 to 3 will get we'll get Discord Nitro. So if you play Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel, definitely come by. The sign up time is 1 week. So again, just come by if you guys want to join. Just play with just play with oh, and make sure to grab the Yu-Gi-Oh roll here. So you see Yu-Gi-Oh roll and react to this one. So yeah. Alright, so that should be it for all the announcement and everything. So but that's about it. Not the worst yet. I rolled 70 times for 1 Muzzy Kaiser. All us I see bad. Yeah, RNG is so bad. Alright, well, today we got through a lot. I think we got through everything today. We got through, Ren, we got through Hydra, we got through Mecha Kaiser, everything that came recently, in I hope I didn't talk as fast as possible. I think I did better today, better than last time, so yeah. And we also got through some Awaken pilots. I think I would bring it. Well, how long has this been streamed? I'm pretty sure it's been 2 hours, so if there's nothing else, I'm gonna end the stream soon. So yeah, thank you. You're probably gonna go see after this. I haven't slept for a while, so just gonna do some brawl while I'm not even gonna care about what I pick. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore it. I'm not even gonna care about what I pick. I'm just getting through, right? Getting through. Yeah, I'm just not picking what I'm picking. There's a trophy version and a non-trophy version. Okay, any more questions? Just ask me any more questions, that was so fun today, just to be able to talk with you guys. Yeah. Love you guys so much. You know what, yeah, I'm just gonna do one match of the Brawl and I'm gonna end. Yeah, I've been too tired. Too tired, way too tired. Okay, any questions? After this Brawl, I'm gonna end, so... how many was left anyway? 7 viewers? Yeah, I think it's a good time, or 6 viewers, yeah, I think it's a good time to end. Definitely share this stream, like, and, you know, and subscribe. I'm gonna get in the stream soon. Yeah, after this one. Let me just type this here now. Thank you so much for coming. And also, good night. Also, my Hel guy is available. Yeah, good night. Love you guys so much. Yeah, good night. Good night. Definitely join Discord as well. Yeah. May RNG bless all of us. Yeah, may RNG bless all of us. Alright. Alright, well, okay, yeah. Again, if you didn't get to ask any questions, just ask on Discord. I'll be available when I'm available. Just tag me, so. And Discord link is in the description, so. Alright, goodbye! RNG plus, yeah. RNG. Alright.